When it comes to health, weight can be one of the biggest things we focus on, especially as a woman. According to an Ipsos poll done in 2018, 83% of women reported feeling dissatisfied with their bodies. That's why diet culture is such a huge money-making business. We're all looking for that quick fix, but that's not always the best way to make lasting change. So what are the most important things to look for when we're trying to make healthy changes? Morning anchor and health reporter Kirsten O'Connor is off today, so Bridget is standing by now to ask a doctor.
Ask a Doctor is sponsored by Conviva Primary Care for Seniors.
One of the big questions many of us have when we're looking to make positive, healthy changes is whether we're considered at a healthy weight or not. Many doctors use the body mass index, what's known as BMI, to try to figure that out. But as registered dietitian Candace O'Neill from Cleveland Clinic for Women tells us, BMI is not always the most accurate tool.
BMI is not meant to be used as a sole indicator of health status, and doctors and other healthcare practitioners use BMI in addition to other screening measures like blood work and blood pressure to determine your health status. Now, BMI does have some flaws, and for one, it does not account for muscle mass that individuals may have. And if you have a high amount of muscle mass, it may incorrectly categorize you as being overweight or obese when that may not be true. BMI also doesn't tell us the location of body fat and where it's located in our body. So sometimes people feel discouraged if they're looking at their BMI alone on a chart and trying to kind of get an idea of if their weight's healthy or not. It gives a false sense of what their actual health is. And sometimes when people look at these charts, or maybe they have conversations that they need to lose weight, they go on a diet, and when they see changes in the scale, they automatically assume that they're losing fat, but that's not always the case, especially for individuals who go on a very low calorie diet. Maybe they're trying to lose weight quickly.
And she says that's a big issue that she sees many times, patients under eating or restricting certain food groups. And while these may seem like quick ways to lose weight, she says most often people are not successful with these tactics long term.
When people count calories, it can be helpful for them to reduce portions or to learn portions for weight management, but it's not the best approach for most people. It can be rigid, difficult to follow long term, and does not necessarily address behavior change nor educate the person on what a healthy diet is made up of. A calorie also does not tell someone the nutritional value of a food, and you may be missing essential nutrients if you're only focused on calories. When someone avoids carbohydrates or avoids eating fatty foods in an attempt to lose weight, they don't learn portion sizes, and they also can be lacking those nutrients in their diet. And it's important to know someone's overall diet pattern and lifestyle habits like exercise and sleep, because that can really give insight into risk of chronic disease, not necessarily eating a 1,200 calorie diet.
Now, O'Neill says it's better to focus on getting healthy and being strong rather than just focusing on the weight. She says a tool that can better help with that is the body fat composition scale. That way you can see how much of your body weight is also made up of muscle mass, which is a better indicator for overall health than the BMI formula that doesn't take your whole actual body into account.
So it will tell us how much of their weight is muscle versus fat, so not just looking at their BMI alone. And we find that a lot of these women actually have low amounts of muscle mass. And when someone has a low amount of muscle mass, it actually hinders their metabolism long term and can affect where fat is stored, and also can affect their bone mass. A lot of women don't practice in strength training because they're afraid that it's going to make them become bulky or bigger. And oftentimes women are trying to become smaller. We're trying to lose weight. But in fact, muscle has less, is more compact than fat mass. So even though two people may have the same body weight, the same BMI, someone can have a very different pant size or body fat percentage if they have a different amount, if they have different amounts of muscle mass.
O'Neill says you should be aware of signs of poor nutrition, that maybe you're not eating enough. Some of those could be low energy, feeling hungry, dizzy, poor sleep, constipation, easily irritable, anxious, or feeling cold a lot of times. If you're looking for an individualized plan to help you reach your goals, working with a registered dietitian can help. You can talk to your doctor to figure out what's best for you and check in with your insurance as well. Julie?